That's just a little odd. And
Pretty odd.
I think it's odd.
I see where that would be kind of odd. That's an odd question to ask.
Just kind of odd.
It's just odd.
What's up, guys? I just wanted to bring you a quick update video discussing the court case now from the arrest at the Centralia DMV. As you guys saw, the Illinois Secretary of State Police arrested me for simply recording inside the DMV lobby. I went to the first appearance July 18th at 8:30 a.m. Before court started, the state's attorney did speak with me and made clear that his stance has not changed, that what I was doing was not against the law. He also said that he's not trying to get me on the hook for something that he told Lieutenant Reitner to tell me was okay. And he went on further to say that he's been in contact with the Illinois Secretary of State Police. I believe the General Counsel is who he did say that he'd been talking to, and that they are still sending him things. And what that leads me to believe is that he's been in contact with them. They've sent him some things. There's still more to send him. But as of last Friday, whatever they had sent him had still not persuaded him that I was violating the law. So with that being said, they scheduled the preliminary hearing, which would be the probable cause hearing, the fact finding, for August 21st at 9 a.m. After I left court on the 18th, I did contact a few attorneys trying to schedule a consultation. I did have one office reach back out to me so far, and I do have a consultation scheduled with them this coming Tuesday, which would be July 29th. So as part of gathering my defense for myself, or for material that an attorney could use for me, I've been doing my own research, gathering case law, and making FOIA requests, things of that nature to help back my stance in this. I'll give you guys a couple tidbits. If the person does have Illinois Secretary of State business to conduct, inform them that the transaction cannot be processed until they stop. Now also, call 911 immediately if there is a safety concern, including threats towards customers or staff, or if the individual is preventing the facility from conducting transactions. This is directly off of their official policy for recording inside the DMV facility. So when you're speaking about legalities, wording is very important, and it has to be very specific. And on the first line that I've got highlighted, inform them that the transaction cannot be processed until they stop recording. So what that's saying is to inform me that my transaction cannot be processed until I stop recording. And then it further states on the second line that I have highlighted, or if the individual is preventing the facility from conducting transactions. And why that is very important is because this is a policy about recording inside the DMV, And it further states, it clarifies that me recording inside the DMV doesn't by default prevent the facility from conducting everybody else's transactions. What I gather from rewatching my videos and with some of the FOIA requests that I've sent to the Illinois Secretary of State Police, reading Officer Metter's official report, is that they were receiving guidance from the Illinois Secretary of State Police from specific sergeants and a captain to cease transactions. This is not official policy that they were following. This is following orders from ranking officers at the Illinois Secretary of State Police. But it's not official policy because, like I said, under their official policy of recording inside the DMV, by default it lays out that recording inside the DMV doesn't actually prevent the facility from conducting transactions. They willfully stopped conducting transactions and then blame me being in there as the cause for that, as the cause for them willfully doing it, and they're claiming that they have no choice to, but they clearly do. It's not part of their official policy to cease all transactions just because somebody records inside the DMV. That's what their whole argument hinges on for arresting me under trespass to state supported land, is that they're claiming that me just recording, and if you play back the arrest video, investigator Cameron Ward, when I asked him how I was causing a disruption, he said just recording. And even besides his statement, there's absolutely no proof of any other conduct of mine that has hindered them from conducting transactions, because there was no other conduct to even consider. I was inside, peaceful, quiet, non-disruptive, just recording. This quick facts card alone should dismantle their entire argument for my arrest. So if you guys were to look at ACLU versus Alvarez, a direct quote from the court docket: the ACLU's proposed recording will be otherwise lawful, that is, not disruptive of public order or safety, and carried out by people who have a legal right to be in a particular public location and to watch and listen to what is going on around them. The press has the same right of access to information as the general public. And what that means is that if the public is allowed to be there, the press is allowed to be there. I didn't enter any restricted areas. I didn't go anywhere that people are not allowed to be freely. They've even stated it as staff and as the Illinois Secretary of State Police. On video, I have them multiple times saying that I could go in there as long as I want. They don't mind me being in there, I just can't record. So myself as a member of the public, I'm allowed to go sit in there and observe, but I'm not allowed to record. That directly goes against the case law that I have that I'm going to use in court. And under Matthew Dowd versus City of Los Angeles, the court here likewise holds that the rule is constitutional insofar as it is interpreted by the council as requiring an actual disruption separate from the bare violation of the rule. In Dyer v. Smith, the district court held appellee, now quoting, has a clearly established right to record government officials performing their duties. But to even further support my argument, I have a statutory right by Illinois law to be inside of these buildings. And I'll put this on the screen for you guys to read too. And it's going to be the Illinois FOIA Statute 5 ILCS 140. All records in the custody or possession of a public body are presumed to be open to inspection or copying. And we go down to definitions as used in this act. Public records means all records, reports, forms, writings, letters, memoranda, memos, books, papers, maps, photographs, microfilms, cards, tapes, recordings, electronic data processing records, electronic communications, etc. Copying means the reproduction of any public record by means of any photographic, electronic, mechanical, or other process, device, or means now known or hereafter developed and available to the public body. So I don't know if you guys understand what a video is. It is quite literally a series of still photographs put together. For the purposes of this subsection G, request means a written document that is submitted to a public body via personal delivery, mail, telefax, electronic mail, or other means available to the public body, and that identifies the particular public record the requester seeks. One request may identify multiple records to be inspected or copied. So what this solidifies as an Illinois statute is that we have the right to go in person to a public body and make copies, make our own copies via photograph or video of all public record, which means reports, forms, writings, letters, memos, the books and pamphlets, the papers, the maps on the walls, all of these things, all of the photographs on the walls, that is all public record. And I have the right to make my own copy of the public record, and I have the right to do that in person. Of course, in due time, you guys will see the rest of the case law and understand more of the total argument with each one of the case law that I just quoted you backing the argument. So the preliminary hearing scheduled for August 21st, 2025 at 9 a.m. That's going to be at Marion County Courthouse. It's in Salem, Illinois, for anybody that doesn't know. Anybody who wants to come and see what happens in real time, show up. Come see for yourself how it plays out before I have to cover it on my channel, because sometimes it might take me several days to get a video recorded. I work a regular job and I pay for all my bills with that regular job, and I do not have a lengthy criminal history. I don't believe that just to be passionate about your rights that you have to have prior convictions or a criminal history per se. Now, am I denying any criminal history? No. What I do have, and I will tell you this because my page is all about transparency, and how can I claim that if I'm not transparent about myself? What I do have is a long length of traffic citations of mostly just being a kid tearing up the town, speeding, running stop signs, horrible driving. No accidents, so I'm not going to say horrible driving skills, but I always chose to drive in a manner that was inappropriate. Now, some of those traffic violations did rise to criminal misdemeanors, and on top of that, anybody that knows me already knows this, but for the people that don't know me, I did have a drug issue for some years. And in 2021, I was actually heading to rehab whenever I got in trouble for possession of drugs. A simple possession charge. But I actually completed first-time offender probation, so it was not a felony conviction on my record. And that is also backed by the fact that I am legal to own a firearm in the state of Illinois. And anybody that knows Illinois, we have a FOIA card, a firearm owner identification card. And the process of even getting that is quite strict, and also the process of getting guns legally is quite strict in Illinois. So the fact that I'm a legal gun owner, which I'm not scared to advertise, okay, kind of defeats the whole notion that just because I do First Amendment audits that I must have a lengthy criminal record. And for you guys that say that our rights are not being infringed upon, we're not losing any rights, that we're just doing this just because or whatever, living in Illinois, it's undeniable that our rights are being violated by the state currently, because we have the assault weapons ban from 2022, and of course that revoked our access to own a whole list of guns, but most popularly including AR-15s, along with foregrips and magazine capacities for rifles and handguns, assault weapons, whatever they deem to define that as, and many other things, I'm sure, under that bill. And to support the undeniability that it's unconstitutional, the state itself is actually fighting the state itself for the restoration of our rights to bear arms as we see fit. So Southern Illinois, where I'm at, I think there was about 13 state's attorneys, Marion County State's Attorney Tim Hudspeth being one of them, that, and I don't have this pulled up in front of me, I'm just recalling from a news article that I read, that these state's attorneys are coming together to file, I can't remember if it was an injunction or what. They are trying to file something together in the 7th District to overturn Illinois' assault weapons ban as unconstitutional. So the day that we see the state fighting the state for constitutional rights, it is 1000% without a shadow of doubt undeniable that our rights are being stripped away from us piece by piece. And rights are exactly like muscles, where if we don't exercise them, we lose them. If not a single person in the United States were to exercise their First Amendment right, say for free speech, and then one day somebody decides to use their free speech in a manner that somebody may not like, do you think that they would still own that right to free speech? I don't believe they would. And it's the same, in my opinion, that in Illinois with the assault weapons ban. If every single resident of Illinois were to have purchased an AR-15 and assault weapon, according to them, if every citizen were to purchase an AR-15 legally and maintain that right to bear that arm, of course that bill would have never passed through. Alright guys, post. The updates will be posted as they're made available to me. And with all that said, that will be the end of the video today. I'll see you next time, guys.